Welcome to Ready, Set, Question, a place dedicated to building faith one question at a time. Today's question: can we trust the authenticity of the Bible? Now, this video is the fifth video in a series of 5 videos that explain how Jesus equals truth. And the key to understanding the truth and authenticity of the Bible is through Jesus. And so I've come up with these characters that help us remember how we know the Bible is true. And of course, J is the first letter in the name of Jesus, so we have our character here, Jeremiah Jones, the Jewish archaeology expert, that shows all of the names, dates, and places in the Bible add up. And this character represents the disciples and how the 11 lied and were afraid until something happened. S is the third letter in the name of Jesus, which represents this character, stories from outside the Bible. Yes, other people besides the biblical writers actually affirm the authenticity of the scriptures. U is the fourth letter of the name of Jesus, and it represents the umbrella of truth, prophecies that have come true. And today we're going to be diving into the last video in this series, which is also the last letter of the name of Jesus, which starts with an S, and it represents the Super Scrolls, otherwise known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. The way the story goes is that in 1946, a Bedouin goat herder lost a goat in a cave. So he threw a rock into the cave, hoping to scare the goat out. But when he threw the rock into the cave, the sound of breaking pottery came out of the cave. Many people believe the Dead Sea Scrolls were produced around the year 200 BC by Jewish monks called the Essenes. Now, what do the Dead Sea Scrolls tell us about the authenticity of the Bible? Well, the Bible has been copied thousands of times. The Bible has been translated to every major language. The Bible has been in publication for thousands of years. Now, we all know paper is fragile. So when we read something over and over again, the paper starts to degrade. So if we don't want to lose the information on the paper, we make a copy. And the same thing is true with the Bible. We had the original words from God written down, and those documents started to decompose. So scribes would make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy over the millennia in order to preserve the words of God. Now, of course, the original scriptures were written in Hebrew. The New Testament was written in Aramaic and Greek. And so we can translate these original documents into other manuscripts in other languages. Now, this process usually generates quite a few mistakes and errors, which causes manuscripts to not be identical to the one before. For example, the Book of Mormon was written in 1835, and it has over 1,400 differences in today's version. So that would lead us to believe that since the Judeo-Christian Bible has been copied for thousands of years, there would be far more mistakes and copying errors than the Book of Mormon. Miraculously, the Dead Sea Scrolls have been uncovered after thousands of years, and the number of errors and copying mistakes that we find in our manuscripts today is 0. Essentially, the Bible app on our modern smartphones is the same as the Dead Sea Scrolls. So it's only appropriate to call this character the Super Scroll. So let's review. We looked at J, Jeremiah Jones, who tells us about Jewish archaeology. E, meaning 11 lied, which talks about the disciples and how they went from being liars to being very confident in their hope in Jesus Christ. S stands for stories outside the Bible, which represents the historians that were either Christian or non-Christian who wrote about the fact of Jesus Christ. U stands for the umbrella of truth and how fulfilled prophecies are really difficult to fake, if not impossible. And S stands for who we just covered, the Super Scroll. I hope these characters help you remember why we can trust the Bible. And the reason why this is so important is because followers of Christ have confident hope that has been reasonably investigated that gets stronger when tested. And that spells Christ. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Ready, Set, Question, a place where we are dedicated to building faith one question at a time. Well, here's a question for you. How has the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls impacted your faith? Feel free to comment below. I'd love to read your answer. If you'd like to learn more and dive into other topics that I've covered, please visit my website at readysetquestion.com. Also, I just want to give a special thanks to Ben Sound for the amazing music. Much love and Godspeed.